Hello and welcome to what could be the most anticipated car review of 2021. Today we are looking at the Aston Martin, the AMR21, today on the 3rd of March. And without further ado, we are just going to jump straight on in and have a look at this green car. Now, instantly first thoughts, it is actually quite Mercedes-esque with the nice pink stripe running down, very reminiscent of the turquoise Petronas colour running from the nose all the way down the bottom half of the side pods. They have kept their relationship with BWT, just not as a title sponsorship. I'm not too fussed about the pink, and honestly, it's not actually that nice. And when I say not very nice, I mean the entire livery as a whole. It's just green. There's nothing going on. Absolutely nothing. There's no design, there's no fancy shading, there is nothing. It is just green. So honestly, for all of the hype and everything that it had going for it, it has been a teensy bit of a letdown. It still looks amazing, and I still give it points for being different because it's a brand new colour car that we've never seen before. But in terms of overall excitedness and ranking in my own terms of the liveries that we've seen so far, it's not high up on that list. And just taking a look at another one of the photos and the angles that have been released so far from this side-on approach, we can see this enormous bulge in the rear of the car, very similar to a couple of the Mercedes ones that have popped up. I'll probably do a Mercedes versus Aston Martin video in a little later on, maybe tomorrow, something like that. But it's odd that it is there on this car and also the Mercedes as well. We'll have to wait and see if it's there on the Williams. But honestly, it's just green. It's just green. It's very disappointing in my opinion. If they'd have incorporated their nice lime colour that they've got, or maybe just some accents of something else, and I don't know, I feel like something is massively missing. It's really refreshing to see this green, and to see green back in the F1 grid like it was in Jaguar. I'm not 100% sure if this is actually British Racing Green though. If it is, then my memory of British Racing Green is completely skewed and completely whack. I'm just not a fan. It's not attached itself to me, this livery, at all. Now, I realise that could be quite either a controversial or very minority opinion, but yeah, it's just not stuck with me at all. And there is also one more angle that I've got to show you, and that's just the front. I grabbed the screenshot from the video as they haven't actually released a front angle just yet, and we can see the nice pink accent on the bottom of the front wing. That I quite like. The rest of it, like I've said, it's eh. But with the three angles for this Aston Martin AMR21 done and dusted, we will move on into the 2021 comparisons. Now, obviously, I couldn't use the official 2020 launch for the RP20, the Pink Panther, or the Pink Mercedes, if you like, as it wasn't even the car that was used in testing. So I've had to try and find the race photos of the Racing Point instead, which is why we've got some of these here. But first thing to note is the actual bulbous bit of the nose. The Mercedes nose is completely different. Again, I don't know whether it's a sizing issue, but they're different shapes. It's like the Alpine of yesterday. It's a completely different nose. It feels a lot more pointed and a bit more pear-shaped rather than an actual circular bulbous bit. Then of course we've got the barge board sections around the side pods, and these, although they're a little bit in the darkness, you can see that they are fairly similar. Same with the side pod shape, it's very similar. But interestingly, a difference that I've noticed so far is in the actual front wing assembly. If we have a look here on the Racing Point, we can see it's a nice continuous going upwards, and then it comes down towards the centre of the wing. Whereas here on the Aston Martin, I'm not sure what's going on here. It's all uppy downy. Now, I'm not an aerodynamicist, so I don't know all of the key specific terms for things like this, and I don't know the effects of what this is going to do, but it's interesting that they have gone with this approach. And then again, continuing with the 2020 to 2021 comparisons, we can take a look at a side-on image, and here we can see the massive bulge. But we're actually going to start instead with the front wing. We can see that they followed a very similar design and exactly the same to what we saw on the Mercedes as well, the Mercedes W12. Also, the shark fin is again the same, unlike what we saw on the Alfa Romeo, in which they had significantly changed their shark fin design at the top of the engine cover. And just here we can highlight this enormous bulge in the engine cover, which is just not present in the slightest in the Racing Point. So it is going to be very interesting to see what happens with the Williams whenever that gets released in a couple of days' time, to see if they have a bulge, and if that's the case, then Mercedes have definitely brought something new with this engine. Whether it's going to give them a nice boost in performance, I mean, hell, it probably will, because otherwise they wouldn't have upgraded it in the first place, but we'll see what that brings. Equally, we can see some changes around the rear of the car, so just looking at the shadows and the contours here on the Racing Point, and then looking at the shadows and the contours here on the Aston Martin, it's a completely different shape around the rear of the car. And there we go, there's my first thoughts, albeit possibly a minority view on the Aston Martin AMR21, and also some of their 2020 to 2021 comparisons for you guys. But that is all I've got for you today. I hope you have enjoyed, and maybe tomorrow or maybe later today, if I've got some time after recording this one, I will do a AMR 2021 versus the W12 edition to see the similarities between these two cars. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.